Good morning. Good morning. It's Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, Veterans Day. We could all please stand. I'd ask the color guard to post the colors.
Colors. Up and forward. 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 Forward.
Please remain standing while Jim Raftis Perry leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the National Anthem.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. With me. Say again, see what dawn's early light, what's so proudly and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous light, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the brothers with
Please remain standing while I offer a prayer. Father, bless our veterans and all who served our nation defending our freedom. For those who bravely gave their lives, grant them eternal rest. For those who are serving, give them courage. For those who served, we offer our gratitude. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Please be seated. Welcome to VFW Post 1371, as we have been coming here since we all got too old to stand out in the cold. And today's a perfect day for being inside, and it's very comfortable. I hope everyone's comfortable. I'd like to start by just telling you something basic that we oftentimes get confused. Many people confuse Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Memorial Day is a day for remembering and honoring military personnel who died in the service of their country, particularly those who died in battle or as a result of wounds sustained in battle. While those who died are also remembered, Veterans Day is the day set aside to thank and honor all those who served honorably in the military, in wartime or in peacetime. In fact, Veterans Day is largely intended to say thank you to the living veterans for their service, to acknowledge that their contribution to our national security was appreciated, and to underscore the fact that all those who served, not only those who died, have sacrificed and done their duty. Thank you for, just so when someone says Veterans Day, Memorial Day, what's the difference? You got the general gist of what that's all about. This is going to be a long program. I'd like to introduce Tioga County's Director of Veterans Services. But before I do, I'd just like to say something about that organization. Under the direction of Dennis Mullen, who is our current service officer, the organization continues to provide and give great services to the veterans in our county, some of which we don't know about, some of which we haven't heard enough about. Dennis and his crew the door's always open, they're willing to help, and we've asked him to come this morning and do two things. To share with us what's going on at the Veteran Service Office, what's available to us veterans, so that we can share it with those friends and neighbors who are veterans and need to know where the office is, what the hours of operation are, and some of the services that are available. The other thing that Dennis is going to do, he's going to read the honor roll list of all the veterans who have passed away since Memorial Day to today. We'll honor them too. So with that, Dennis.
Good morning. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, VFW and Owego, for inviting me to speak to you today. I am a member of the VFW, but I am in the Waverly Post. That's where I'm from, Waverly, New York. Also part of Tioga County. I took over the job as a Veteran Service Director on May 3rd of this year, 2025, after Mike Middaugh, who did a very, very, very good job in helping develop what our Veteran Service Agency provides to local veterans. Mike now works for the State Veterans Service Agency for New York State. It's myself, Grace Middaugh, who is Mike's wife, and Susan Tyler, who is, all three of us are certified veteran service officers. Well, what's a veteran service officer, and what do you guys do, and where are you, and when did we come talk to you? First off is, we are a county agency. We are not employed by the VA or the federal government in any way. We are employed by Tioga County, New York. In 1945, New York State mandated that each county have a veteran service agency funded by the county to serve the veterans in that given county. Tioga County has had a veterans office since the law was mandated in 1945. I will tell you, became a county legislator in 2016, and under Lou's wife Marty's leadership, the Veteran Service Office in Tioga County has grown. We have 3 full-time employees, and our main focus is helping veterans get the benefits that they so rightly have earned. When you are a veteran and you have earned your benefits, they are not benefits that are a social welfare program. If you collect your benefits, that doesn't mean somebody else is denied their benefits. And I will tell you, even during the current government shutdown, the VA is funded in the prior fiscal year. So the vast majority of veterans VA programs are up and running now. And we are always willing to help in any way we possibly can. Where are we located? We're located over on According of Academy Street, there at 56 Main Street, the old high school. How we tell everybody, you know where DMV is? Yes. We're right upstairs. You can't miss us. We're the office with all the flags in front of it. We prefer people to make an appointment because many of the issues that we deal with vets are somewhat complicated. But if you want to stop by and have a cup of coffee, we have a coffee mess. You can stop by and chit-chat and visit with us. We're glad to have you. Any veteran, family member of that, stop. I will tell you one of the things that seems to be a misunderstanding. We have to do what the veteran asks us to do. Many times we'll have family members saying, the veteran needs this, the veteran needs that. And if the veteran is not in need of a fiduciary or mentally incompetent, can't make their own decisions, if the veteran can think for himself, he can make the decision. We spend a lot of time explaining to our vets what I just said. These are benefits that you've earned. So, some of the programs that we deal with. First one is the benefits through the VA. That's our biggest part of our job, is getting the vets the benefits that are service-connected level of disability. There's been a recent move where too many veterans are getting benefits and they're not disabled. Veterans disability is not Social Security disability, it's not workers' comp disability. It's how much of your life is impacted by the disease or injury that you received while as a veteran. For example, we have numerous number of Vietnam vets that are now coming into our office that are service-connected by a presumptive disease from Agent Orange exposure. If you spent one day boots on the ground in Vietnam, it's presumptive that you were exposed to Agent Orange. That also includes the 12-mile Blue Water Navy, if you're 12 miles off the coast, the Riverine, the Navy Riverine patrols, also certain aircraft mechanics, and even if you could be Agent Orange exposed if you were an airplane mechanic stationed at Port Sam Houston or Lackland Air Force Base, and those F-4 Phantoms they brought back were exposed to the Agent Orange. That's where our job comes in, is to service connect you. We have many of our Global War on Terror vets are now service connected because of the burn pits in both Afghanistan and the Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan. 3 million veterans served in the Global War on Terror since 2001. 3 million. And many of these young men and women are coming back and they're developing upper respiratory issues, very rare forms of cancer, and they're all presumptive under the PACT Act. These are the things that we spend a lot of time and we service connect people. But that doesn't mean if you've been injured in the military that it wasn't service connected. We have many that are obviously Afghanistan and Iraq war vets that were damaged, had traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress disorder. Many of our vets work in the VA program is called TDIU, temporary total disability, individual unemployability, where their post-traumatic stress, the issues that they've had attempting to reassimilate have affected their life, where their ability to be employed gainfully, where you would expect them to be employed at that point in their life, they cannot maintain that type of employment. We can get them TDIU, which gives many of our vets who were affected by the EIDs. A lot of our vets come back from Iraq and Afghanistan where their vehicle was not hit by the EID, but the one in the convoy in front of them and the back of them. Well, if anybody's ever been around an explosion of that size, Most of those guys in the vehicles surrounding were at least concussed, and some of them several times during their deployment. And they come back, and if you've had several concussions, it affects your well-being. That's our job. We will do everything that we can to service connect you and get you the disability compensation you so deserve. The VA also has a program, it's called the pension program. It's income-based. If you are a veteran of a wartime era and your income is not that of the federal poverty level, we can get you a pension and full medical benefits and bring you to the federal poverty level. We have several veterans, sadly, way more than I'd like, in Tioga County that are receiving the income pension. I'll tell a quick story about one of the veterans that we helped. He called for a ride to the bank. Can you give me a ride to the bank so I can get some money to pay for my hotel? Sure. He was a 13-year Marine Corps veteran, Marine infantry officer. He did 13 years in the United States Marine Corps. He was NROTC, graduated from Cornell University, had moved home after he got out of the Marine Corps and took care of his elderly parents. Both his parents passed away. His one surviving brother who lives in the North Country who was also quite ill. That's all he had. Come to find out, his house, his trailer, was inadequate housing. It was uninhabitable due to storm damage, and he had been living in it. He developed a lung condition of black mold, ended up in the hospital and rehab, and through our efforts with the town of Owego, Tioga County Public Health, we were able to condemn his property, get him deemed homeless by VA standards, and we were able to place him in a veterans retirement community in Orangeville, Pennsylvania, where he's thriving. That's what we do. Like all veterans, he stood in front of the flag, raised his right hand, and said, I affirm or swear that I will support and defend the United States, the Constitution of the United States, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Everybody who's ever done that deserves all that we can do for them. So I want to give you an example of that. One of the things we also do here is we do a lot with suicide outreach. One of the things that I'm extremely pleased with, we've been working with New York State Office of Mental Health, OMH, in the most recent statewide conference. They invited agencies from across the entire state to be there for their annual conference in Troy, New York. Over 300 state agencies, county agencies were there. Tioga County Veterans Agency was the only veteran service agency in the entire state that attended the conference. Of all the county agencies in New York State, OMH recognized 4 county agencies in all of New York State for their work on suicide prevention, awareness, and outreach. And Tioga County Veteran Service Agency was the only veteran service agency in all of New York State that was recognized by OMH as the outstanding work we do in suicide awareness and prevention. So that's what your Veterans Agency does. Thank you. That's what your Veteran Agency does for our veterans. We do the Field of the Forgotten Fallen every September. That's out in the lawn at the Hubbard building on Academy Street, corner of Academy Main Street. We do the Ruck for Them. Bill's got a Ruck shirt on right now. Every year for the last 9 years, we've done a Ruck for Them, 5 Mile K, ruck. A ruck is a forced march, what the Army calls a forced march. The Marines call it a hump. I don't know if that's politically correct, but that's what the two terms are. But the Army uses ruck. And we do a 5K ruck, and we do it at the Waverly, start the Waverly Glen and do it's 3.1 miles to the village of Waverly. And the village of Waverly has been incredibly supportive of that. They pay for all the police overtime and waive all our fees to use the Glen and the amphitheater at the new pavilion there. And we get a good turnout. This past year, we had over 200 sign up, and we had well over 150 show up and do the ruck this past year. And that is for suicide prevention. We bring an awareness to it, and at every one of our outreach events, we have the ability to hand out paperwork and information about suicide awareness and prevention for our veterans. You think, well, one of our biggest areas of concern now is not what you would think. It's our women veterans. The women veterans make up 15% of the U.S. military, is 15% female. A woman veteran is 5 times more likely to commit suicide than a woman of the same age and socioeconomic strata as that of a veteran. 5 times more likely. Our women veterans carry a special burden, a difficult burden, and we go out of our way to make sure that our women veterans are served well. One of the main driving forces of that, it has been, and I will applaud the current administration, is they have put a focus on benefits for military sexual trauma, where we're all adults in this room. It goes on. It happens. It's happened to female vets that live in this county. We've been able to help. And those women come home, but they don't get the treatment that they deserve. They don't get the justice that they deserve while in the military. And if we don't get to them, they could very easily become one of those veterans who make that horrible and terrible choice to end their own life. There's some of the sad things that we deal with. But we deal with some great things also. There's nothing better than when we get a veteran who's facing life's challenges at the end of his life, who comes into the office and he has one concern or she has one concern. My husband, my wife, my special needs child. What's going to happen to them? Let's get to work. And that's what we do. We pull the records, we pull the medical records, we advocate for them. We utilize all the resources in New York State Department of Veterans. And we have repeatedly been able to get the surviving spouse a pension that has helped close the gap. We've been able to get special needs children close the gap. We've helped numerous veterans' children attend college, pay for their schooling. All these programs are available. And one of the things we do that most of us kind of have an idea about, but that we actually do, is help with the burial benefits. Every veteran who is honorably served has benefits coming to them upon their passing. And that's another thing that we do, is help make sure you get all the burial benefits. I'm humbled by what I've learned in the last 6 months. And we can't do it without you guys. What is a veteran? A veteran is somebody who said, count me in. I'll write that check. Up to including my life. But where are the veterans? They're everywhere. They're the trooper on patrol, the deputy on patrol, the volunteer fireman, your school teacher. It's the guys working on the side of the road. It's the guys working at DPW. It's the guys at Lockheed Martin. They're everywhere. And the veterans are, the vast majority of veterans are one thing that we all should aspire to be. True American patriots and great citizens. Veterans want what we all want. They want economic opportunity. They want safe communities. They want good roads. They want good schools. And they want a safe and prosperous nation so their children and their grandchildren can have what we've all been blessed by God's providence to be so blessed with, is to live in the United States of America. I see Lou's wife Marty walked in, and I would be remiss not to say while she's here. This veteran service agency we have in Tioga County, which is one of the best small county veteran service agencies in the entire state of New York, and I will say that because it's true, is because of Marty's leadership. This thing was built and developed and is here to help our veterans. And Marty, thank you as a veteran. Thank you, Lou, for picking Marty as your wife, because she's listened to your concerns with veterans. And I can tell you we've had quite a few conversations over the year, one as a legislator, about veterans and what we're going to do. And it's not always about the money. It's about what are we providing. And with that, I just want to thank all of you for inviting me, inviting all of us. And one of the things that I am going to do is build the bridges with our veteran fraternal organizations in Tioga County. Because I can tell you, I can't do it without you. Any young veteran that comes into our office, we will pay his or her dues to the VFW, American Legion, the Marine Corps League. We'll let them pick which fraternal organization, but we will pay their first year dues. We will make sure that they get into one of the fraternal organizations so that sense of camaraderie, I belong here, they feel welcomed, and we want the VFW, American Legion, the Marine Corps League, Vietnam Vets of America. We want these fraternal organizations to flourish. And if that's the small thing we can do to help, that's what we'll do. And with that, I want to read the names of the veterans that have passed since our Memorial Day ceremony. And we'll ask for a moment of silence upon the completion of the names. Randy Clock, Donald Murch, Michael Markov, James Branston, Rodney Boyle, Donald Wilson, Howard Wilson, Christopher Savicool, Richard Frost, Howard Baker, Timothy Truesdale, Joseph Zimmerman, Philip Herders, Andrew J., Richard Gumble, Elwyn Caldwell, Roger Short, John Coveney Jr., Gary Nichols. would ask for a moment of silence and private prayer for all those who have passed, and a prayer of thanks for all those who have served and continue to serve their communities. Amen. Thank you, Lou.
Please be seated. Two things so that I don't forget it. Taps was played by Steve Pelanowski, who is a Marine, played in the Marine Corps Band. Happy birthday to the Marines. I missed it by a day, but happy birthday. 250 years isn't too bad. I think Dennis was in Albany yesterday. He was at the celebration in Albany yesterday, said we got great turnout. One thing about the Marines, once a Marine, always a Marine, isn't that right? I expected that.
I got one right here.
Okay, we have with us a gentleman who's been very active in support of veterans and helping veterans, a veteran himself from the United States Navy, and he's the co-founder of the Southern Tier Veteran Support Group. Mr. Al Eaton is going to share a minute with us. Al?
Morning, everybody. It's nice to be with all you veterans and family members. So just a little bit about the Southern Tier Veteran Support Group, since Dennis brought up how he works with some nonprofits. Our group was founded in 2011. We cover 14 counties, the Southern Tier of New York, Northern Tier of Pennsylvania, and we work with veteran service agencies and what we call affiliates, about 70 total across those 14 counties. And we help with a broad range of things. Sometimes we'll get a call from a veteran or a family member, and the best thing is to point them to a VSO. So we'll have them contact, either Dennis or his counterpart in Boone County or one of the other counties. Sometimes because no fault of their own, maybe they got in an accident. A lot of veterans, as we all know, kind of are on the edge. So if they have anything bad that happens to them, they lose their job or whatever, they might be at risk of going behind on the rent payments and things like that, and we help with that too. So we help with a broad range of things. Unlike a lot of organizations, we can help with just about anything, and we don't really have limits on how many times we help a veteran or how much we give a veteran. As long as they're honorably discharged, we can help them. How many of you have heard of the Veteran Resource Center that was recently opened in Broome County? You guys heard about that? Okay. So I, along with a bunch of other people about 9 years ago, helped the Broome County executive come up with some ideas for a one-stop shop in Broome County for veteran services. So the ribbon cutting was a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to drive to Binghamton. It's 11 Frederick Street. There's plenty of parking in the front. You're welcome to walk in. Even though it says Broome County, you're more than welcome to walk in and things like that. Dennis's counterpart, Brian Vodasek, the Broome County Veteran Service Officer, has their permanent office there. They have 3 VSOs that work there as well. There's also offices for a couple nonprofits. Our nonprofit, Southern Tier Veteran Support Group, Clear Path, and Soldier On also have offices there. So it's really convenient because we can all work together, collectively and things like that. Soldier On is managing the tiny homes. One of the things that the county executive did was purchase 10 tiny homes, 6 are 1 bedroom and 4 are 2 bedroom. and I think all but 2 are filled right now. Unlike a lot of housing for homeless veterans, it's not transitional, it's permanent. So a veteran, once they get approved, wants to stay there, they can stay there forever. If they want to stay there for a month, they can stay there for a month. So there's a lot of flexibility. What we found is a lot of veterans, once they get the housing situation solved, then they can start working on other parts of their life, like getting a job. So a lot of veterans, even the ones that have recently started, are now employed. So it's been a really good thing for the veterans, just to kind of take some things off their plate. So one other thing I wanted to, since we've got a lot of veterans here, I want to encourage veterans to tell their story. Whether it's your spouse, your kids, your friends, if you haven't talked about what you do in the military, I encourage you to do that. I also encourage you, if you've never been on an honor flight, anybody been on an honor flight? So all veterans can go on an honor flight. Honor flight's basically a nonprofit. Ours is called the Twin Tiers Honor Flight, and they take veterans to Washington. The way they do it here is they get out on a bus on Saturdays. You leave at like 7 o'clock from Binghamton, drive to Washington, see some of the monuments, stay at a hotel, have dinner, and then come back on Sunday. I gotta tell you, I've never gone as a veteran myself. I've gone 5 times with my wife as guardians, and the transformation for some of the veterans, being in a safe environment, supportive environment, is remarkable. Some people have told the story 100 times. Some, I think, have never talked about what they did until they go on honor flight. So it's free for veterans. They're usually the first part of May. Mission 21 just got back, so usually late April, early May, and the first part of November. So I encourage you, if you've never done that, to do it. If you want information, you can contact me, or you can just go to twintiershonorflight.org and you can fill out the paperwork. It's really pretty simple. So again, it's nice to be here with everybody, and happy Veterans Day.
Next, I'd introduce to you Jim Raftis Perry. She's a VFW post auxiliary from the auxiliary. She's going to share with us a couple things.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to start by thanking all veterans for their service to our country. And this is for the Vietnam vets who never really got a proper welcome home. Let me say, welcome home. Every day I'm reminded of my freedoms that you fought for every day. I would like to speak to you regarding the goals of the national and state VFW and auxiliaries regarding veteran homelessness and veteran suicide. You may ask, what is your local veteran doing to address this problem? In September, members of the auxiliary made teardrop pins to wear and bring awareness to veteran suicide. An article was published in the Penny Saver regarding veteran suicide. We can help by using resources like the Veterans Crisis Line 988 and Press 1. The VFW National Home can help them navigate the VFW Mental Wellness Campaign, which promotes awareness, support, and an intervention for veterans, is also available. More information may be obtained by calling 1-800-313-4200 from 8 to 4. Veteran homelessness is being addressed by the auxiliary and post. With the help of Pastor Bob of Haven and Rest, several mats made by Louise Cole have been distributed to homeless. Scarves, hats, candy, gloves, pillowcases, t-shirts, socks donated by Karen Messersmith and the auxiliary will be given to the VOA, Pine Street facility on Veterans Day, and homeless vets in Owego. We visit the VOA every year with presents and sit down and have fellowship with them. We also distribute 36 blankets to all the residents of the VOA, made by a very generous lady who donated them. 10 blankets were given to the residents of the small houses in Binghamton, along with Christmas bags donated by Karen Messersmith. The Post has participated with us in the past And we certainly thank Karen for her commitment to our vets. You have noticed around Owego Appalachian businesses, poppy cans are in the businesses. Founded in 1922, Buddy Poppies honor our servicemen who gave their all. Money derived from the poppy drives are to assist veterans, service members, and their families in need. Due to the generosity of members and public funds for poppy drives, help us to provide help for the homeless and other veterans. Remember our veterans. God bless our troops and God bless our country. And in closing, I would like to remember my brother Jim, favorite slogan, well done, my good and faithful servant. Thank you.
Turn the page to see where we're at. Okay. I'd like to start the thank yous. I'd like to thank Radigan Media for allowing us to be broadcast live on your hometown station, WEBO, this morning. Thanks, Steve, for the bugle work. Thank the VFW Honor Guard and the VFW for hosting this event. For Dennis Mullen and Al Eaton for their sharing. For Dorland for putting this thing together again. And if you haven't noticed or could stop by this table up here in front of the podium, and just a remembrance of our brother Jim Raftis, who held this podium in control for so many years, and now he's in a better place. But thank you to all of you who came out this morning. It's been a wonderful celebration. One that we continue to do and we will continue to do, Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and remembering and honoring our veterans. So before the benediction, I would ask the color guard to retrieve the colors. Please pray with me. Let us go forth into the world in peace and dedication to your service. O Lord, let us hold fast to that which is good. Render to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the needy and the afflicted, and honor all people. Let us love and serve the Lord, rejoicing in the power of his Spirit. And may God's blessing be upon us and remain with us always. Amen. Thank you for attending. There's a light lunch downstairs. Enjoy some fellowship and tell your stories today. Thank you for coming.
It's the end, and that concludes our Veterans Day ceremony. Thank you to all veterans for their service and support, and thank you for watching.